Blessings and greetings, my angels. Thank you for joining me at another session with Tigra at Sacred Sagittarius Angels Answers All, your Sagittarius channel here on YouTube, where I bring you general messages for the Sagittarius community. My cards are always blessed, shuffled, and prayed for to allot for time for the readings. As we continue with your general overall energies for the month of May, we're now going to tap into the messages for Sagittarius for their career and finances. I don't do too much regarding health because when it comes to your health, I really feel that that is something you should take up with a practitioner, a licensed and professional practitioner. If general things come up, I will mention it, but I will not go into specifics. Okay, Heavenly Father, thank you for your presence in my life and that of Sagittarius. Guide me to the general messages for Sagittarius, and may those who need to receive these messages be drawn to this energy. As always, this is free energy that I do here for you, part of my hobby and love for being a Sagittarius as well as being a spiritualist. Just to show your appreciation, please, by sharing, liking, and subscribing if you haven't done already. And if you want to throw in a comment, please, by all means, do so. Only positive comments and energy, however. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start out with the tarot to jumpstart the financial and career messages for Sagittarius. And as you know, I usually do a mid-month update towards the middle of the month. So like in about another week or so, you'll be getting another update. So we have the Five of Cups, we have the Magician, we also have the Hierophant, and we have the Emperor. And before I shuffled the cards and I was doing the reading, I intuitively felt the message to tell you was don't worry and don't worry. And it wasn't not to have anxiety. What was the words that came to me? It just left me that quick. Don't worry. It was like, don't worry and don't fret. Some of you might be in a sticky situation when it comes to your finances. Some of you might be in that fork in the road where you have to make a real strategic financial decision because of your job, lack of income, a divorce, a legal situation, a financial situation like bankruptcy, or just being in the negative due to negligent spending and using credit cards and just living the high life and borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. But even though things may seem dark and dismal, the universe is saying, don't worry. I feel that the universe is saying, don't worry, because if you're that concerned, that concern should drive you to want to take a look at your financial situation, to look at your career. Have that conversation within yourself as to what you need to do, and more importantly, what you need to stop doing so that your situation can improve. That, with coming towards the universe and asking God for divine help, should put you in the right path. So though it might be a bumpy ride, until you get there, there is closure. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So don't get yourself in a tizzy, because when you get all worried and you build up anxiety and you lose hope, you also lose the gift and the ability to use your tools, which we clearly have here in the Magician card, to correct certain situations or to help you navigate through particular situations when it comes to your career and finances. So with the Magician, we're talking about you again having the tools. Many of us forget how much talents we really have. When's the last time you took a look at your resume? Right? Some of us have been working many, many years. Others of you, you're just starting to get your feet wet. Maybe you just graduated from college. Maybe you're only on your first real career. But no matter where you are in your walk of life, you should always ascertain where you are when it comes to your education and your finances, and where you need to build, grow, and improve. What tools, what did you use to get you where you are now? And how can you expand on those tools? Maybe you need to, sharpen them up a little, like going back to school or reading more, getting involved in high tech, in the medical field. You'll never be unemployed as long as you have a job in the sectors where there's always going to be a need for it. But if you work in the private industry, there's always that potential when things are going great, it's great. But when things are going bad financially in the world, you're the first one to suffer the consequences. So use the tools that you have that have gotten you to where you are in life, but also expand on how you can use these tools in other ways, especially if it means changing your career, and especially if it means changing the way how you handle your money and how you look at money. That attached with the Hierophant, for many of you, like many of us, we were brought up with certain financial understanding. The world is different now. Electronic banking and all the electronic and high-tech services that are available now weren't available many years ago. So many of you need to evolve from old ways of thinking and grasp the new technology wave, because that is the wave of the future. And if you don't grab onto it, one, you won't be employed, you'll be hard to employ, and two, you won't be able to navigate and to understand the financial savvy with this new technology. Our phones, our iPads, our computers, they all work to an advantage to us when we use them with the tools that the vendors that create them give us, and the tools that we learn to use with and apply in our life. And many of these electronic gadgets and things that we use are used to do in our investments, to do our daily banking, right? We check our balances online. We check our balances on the phone. You can apply for a job through your phone. You no longer have to go and fill out a physical application. So really being tech savvy is so important. Uploading your resume, sending a PDF, you have to know the terminology. So getting yourself into a technical school to learn IT, or to learn just the, electronic age jargon is so important. Many of you can even go to your own grandchildren and children. If you're a little older or seasoned, they can help you learn the basics. But definitely using your tools and adding them so that you are up to date with the modern technology is vital. So you want to use your conventional strategy when it comes to banking and your finances and work, but again, you also need to grow so that you are competitive and you can function in today's electronic age. With the energy of the Emperor, for many of you, you have to be the leader. When it comes to your career, you have to be the leader. You have to be the one to make the key decisions. Even if you're married, you still need to have a voice in what goes on in your life financially. If you want to choose a different career, if you want to take time off, you still have to be in charge of your destiny. You communicate with those that you love, that, when you make these decisions, it will impact them, but ultimately you have to take charge. So if you've been kind of like, a little lazy with making moves in your life, updating your resume, changing your bad habits when it comes to your spending, this is the time that you really have to take a look in the mirror and say, hey, I need to do a self-check and realize where my weaknesses are and build up my credibility, my financial stability, and my ability to be able to market myself, if need be, into other careers or other venues where you can get finances, so that if, God forbid, things go left with one career, you have another opportunity, or you have other smaller opportunities to make an income. With the Five of Cups energy, many of you, because you might be limited in your skill sets, you have tools and you've learned some things, but there's still so much more for you to learn. And if you're afraid of technology, if you feel like, oh, I'm too old, to learn new tricks, again, you are going to have yourself just stagnated in a space where you're not going to be able to be competitive. You're not going to be able to understand what is going on in the world and how you can manage and how you can thrive no matter what age you are. You just have to be on board. You don't have to be a master, but you should at least know the basics, and you can learn more as you go along, but you have to have an interest. Others of you who are with this Five of Cup energy, where you have regrets because you made poor choices when it comes to your career. You regret maybe not going to school or not going to college. You regret maybe, getting married early and not going away. There's a lot of regrets when you get older that you might look upon, and it does affect what you do. It can affect your income, especially if you had the opportunity to have a high paying job, but you then instead said, no, I want to have kids instead. I want to be a stay at home mom. Or you stayed at home so that your partner could live out their dream. So many of you are in this place of, I don't want to say confusion, but disappointment and regret because of the decisions that you made when you were younger, not realizing how much so when you look at it today, how they have impacted you as far as your finances and your career. But look back if you must. Have your little regret and pity party at a minimal, but don't stay there. Get back in control of the situation. Let bygones be bygones. You can't change what has already happened. You can only work from here. Okay? We don't get a do-over. So going back in the past and regretting the choices that you made, again, come to that truth, come to that understanding, but take it and move forward. In the middle of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. Some of you are bracing for something to happen to your career, or for something you might feel challenged with your finances. Again, some of you feel like it's the world against you. Like you might have this, things happen in cycles. We have cycles where everything is going great, and then we have cycles where it seems like we're losing it every point that we get to. And when you're on that losing end, you can be very defensive, and even when you're on the winning end, because when you're winning, you always feel like people want stuff from you, so you're safeguarding yourself from the people who just want to take and take and take. And when you're on the losing edge, you're defending yourself because you don't want to feel that you're always going to be on the attack, or that people are going to ridicule you, or people are going to look at you a different way because you're not maybe up to speed like everyone else. You're not living the high life like everybody else. So many of you, for different reasons, are going to be safeguarding your energy, safeguarding your space, and feeling a certain way about what people say and how they look at you. We get the message of negotiate. Like I said, some of you might be going up for promotions. This could also be you negotiating a new job, a new career, coming to an agreement or terms in a legal matter where it comes to your income or your career. Growth. Remember I said in the beginning about us taking time to reflect. You're going to reflect on the mistakes that you made in the past, right? With your regrets, with the Five of Cups. But you're also going to reflect, too, on the things that you were able to do and how did you make those moves. Was it you just hitting the sidewalk and doing all the hard work yourself, or was it with a company of friends and networking? So you have to grow from the standpoint from where you are now, from where you were to where you want to be. Because if you don't grow, you can't evolve. We also get the message of dress to impress. Take a quick look at your wardrobe, especially if you haven't had to interview in a long time and you now have to go out and interview. Even if you're interviewing via Zoom or electronically, you still have to be dressed from like head up, right? I mean, from your waist up. So have a nice, guys, a dress shirt, a tie, women a nice blouse, some pearls or whatever it is that you want to adorn yourself with. Have your hair well groomed. So maybe some light makeup for those of you who choose. And make sure that you have the proper setting for a Zoom. You have the proper screen and background. Make sure you have the noise in your house, low. Have these interviews when you don't have a lot going on in your surrounding. So as you prepare to look for work, or as you prepare to start a new business, or just interact with people and network, make sure you have the type of clothes that shows you mean business, right? We don't want to be going to interviews in tank tops, and definitely not shorts. Even if it is just to work in a $5 store, or to work at a 99-cent store, or to work at a department store, you want to be perceived as a professional, and you want to be taken seriously, and you want to be paid good, right? So you have to look the part. We also get changes. As with the butterfly with metamorphosis, there is transformation. Some of you will be experiencing some wanted and unwanted changes when it comes to your career and finances. So be ready for it. Here we go. There's the interview negotiation. Definitely some of you could be getting called for interviews for past applications that you put in that you probably even forgot about the positions. Or you could have went for an interview and you didn't get the position, and maybe all of a sudden now there's another opening or something happened with the prior person that they hired. So just be hopeful, because God works things in mysterious ways. Sometimes you don't get a position because there's a better position waiting, or maybe there's another opportunity that you don't even know is available. So don't think sometimes when you're disappointed that you didn't get a position, you get a letter or you get a phone call. You never know when that employer or that interviewer might contact you back. As long as your references and everything checks out, you interview really well, there's always that possibility. With the card of new assets, not all my Saggies are doing poorly. A lot of you might be looking into getting new things or putting your money into new assets to build up your credit and your financial outlook. So if some of you have invested wisely or saved wisely, you might be buying big ticket items like an automobile. At the bottom of the deck, we get training. As I mentioned intuitively before in the beginning of the message, for many of you to advance in your career, to get more money, and to be competitive in today's electronic world, you're going to have to get additional training, whether it's on-the-job training or going to a Pacific college school or a trade school for the skill set or the technology courses that you want to advance in. With the message, the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. Image is about everything. If you hang out with people who talk in slang and don't dress up and, they're at the clubs all the time, what is that? How does that reflect who you are? You want to be with bright people, smart people, caring people, loving people, people that have an initiative and a flow in life, people who are go-getters, people who want to live life but also give to life. Okay? Go in the same direction with people who will go in the direction that you want to be. If you want to be a doctor, get some doctor friends in your circle. If you want to be a lawyer, hang out with some lawyers or paralegals. Like stays with like. And usually, again, it's the image that you portray, how people look at you, and the company that you keep. With the business card, many of you don't be intimidated to enter the world of business. You got this. Again, some of you might be intimidated because you are changing careers. You're going from maybe being a white-collar worker to a blue-collar worker or vice versa. And it can be challenging. It can be scary because you feel like you don't have the skills. But if you go to school and you learn or you get on-the-job training, you're going to be just as competitive as someone who's in that trade already. Consider executive positions, becoming a CEO, starting your own company. Elevate your awareness and think bigger if you want different results. If you think small, you get small. It's all about self-preservation and how you look at yourself, your self-worth, and your self-value. If you feel and know that you can do and will be better, and you have an opportunity to advance in life, and you're willing to fight and do the hard work, guess what? It will pay off. With the card of options, the doors of opportunity, there may be several. Sometimes it's like every door is locked, and then there's that one time when every door is open, or there's more options coming to you than you thought. So many opportunities are becoming available to you, and you might be flooded by more options. Again, sometimes it's like feast or famine. 1 minute the phone's not ringing, and then the next minute you have more interviews and more job offers than you can have. Do not get stuck in doubt when an offer presents itself. Seize the moment. If you get multiple job offers, again, take the time to educate yourself and really break down which job works for you, which one works for your career, the time that you can afford, the one that gives you an equal, life balance, the job that allows you maybe to work remotely from home, or the job that gives you the opportunity to be an executive and to move forward. And of course, the job that gives you great benefits and a salary. Don't get stuck in doubt, but seize the moment whenever you have these opportunities coming. And again, when you have more than one offer, you are in the driver's seat to make that choice, and you can kind of pit the offers against each other if you know how to do it correctly. Create multiple streams of income, especially if you have the talent and the know-how to do so, by all means. At the bottom of the deck, we get spirituality. Some of you are mystical, you're spiritual, you're light workers. This could be not only a hobby, but it could also be a career, something that you might want to do full time. You're being guided to discover your own unique spiritual path at this time. You may be called to become a spiritual advisor, a healer, or anything in the spiritual or mystical realm. Your finances could also use some spell work. Ask your angels and guides for assistance. Use your crystals, use your tools, use the power of prayer and affirmations to help you in your finances during the month of May, or just in general when it comes to your life. As we're coming to a close, we get the card of counseling. Some of you have such kind hearts. You're good with your conversation. You're good with communicating with people. You have a healing heart. You have that light worker spirit within you, and you have a very empathetic ear. So people will come to you. People will love to listen to you. People will love to get the knowledge that you are providing to them and they are seeking. So you might want to look into a job in counseling. We also get light and love. Your purpose is to bring divine healing and light to this world. So again, that is someone who is geared maybe more in the counseling or the spiritual realm, a light worker, a reader, anyone that brings love to humanity and mankind. With the card of body work, your life purpose can also include body work. So those of you who are good with your hands, from being a tattoo artist, a physical therapist, an exercise trainer, a healer, a stylist, you're all about making the body look good and feel good. And the final card, with the strength card, everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. That kind of circles back to where I started in the beginning about taking inventory and stock of who you are, what you've accomplished, the tools that you've gathered and used throughout your lifetime, how you can use those tools and add and advance those tools to get you even further. Don't stay complacent or stuck just in the place that you're in. We're going to give you some bonus cards. We're going to get a card from my Tigra's Sacred Self deck, and you have to be honest and true to yourself only. Choose wisely, Sagittarius, your path, and don't stray to satisfy someone else. Don't stray to satisfy someone else's dream or life. Live your own. Being true to you. When it comes to your career, don't do it because your mom wants you to do it, your dad wants you to do it. Oh, your whole family was cops, so you should be a cop. That's the old way of thinking when it comes to careers. When it comes to money, the same thing too. Old ideas about financing and stuff don't really work the same anymore. There's new rules, there's new higher stakes, so you have to evolve with the changes. Our final card is withdrawal. A lot of you, in order to acquire money or to do well in your careers, there are addictive behaviors or really toxic things or people that you might surround yourself with that really are not in the best for you in either of those sectors. At the bottom of the deck, readiness. Ready, set, go. Many of you are ready to take on the challenges as you go abroad or you travel around the world or just within your own area to do new things, to experience new things. You have this excitement that you want to do something new, or you want to be more than what you've ever been before. You want to tap into everything and anything that you have within you. You want to get out of debt. You want to have a great job. You want to travel the world. You want to be that spiritual Sag and be loving and kind, not only to yourself but to others. You want to come to peace with yourself, even addressing your regrets and moving forward from them. May you have a blessed May, and may your career and your finances soar to levels of success. Namaste.